Everyone's fun around. My name is Jordan. I feel like I'm back home talking about basketball again. Just one of those sports for me growing up and everything. But this video will be for Thursday's WNBA slate, and I'm gonna do this video a little bit differently. We will see how it goes. The first play is gonna be like a traditional rundown, and then the second play or plays you'll see. So you will see images that come up on the screen right here. That's from a data app called Outlier. There will be a link in the description for a 7-day free trial for our Outlier. And this first pick, I'm going to go with one of the hottest players in the WNBA. It's going to be A'ja Wilson over 23.5 points, minus 100 on Novig, where the best odds are right now. So A'ja's on a roll right now, going into the All-Star break and coming out of the All-Star break. You see right there, there's two games, and I've talked about this before, two games that kind of stand out that are bad. One of those games was a major blowout, and the other game she got injured and she left early versus the Liberty. So if you filter and take those two games out, you'll see her last five games playing 25 plus minutes. So we're hoping that this game is going to be competitive against the Fever. The Fever have been competitive without Clark this season. They still have a pretty good roster. I expect this game to be competitive and A'ja to play 25 plus minutes. You see on there, she played them within this time span. She dropped 29 points against them on July 3rd. And over these 5 games, she's averaging 30 points a game. And A'ja Wilson playing against the Fever in Aaliyah Boston, they just love going at each other. They are South Carolina alumni, one of the best women's basketball programs. So they love going against each other. Aaliyah Boston normally scores pretty well against A'ja Wilson, and A'ja Wilson the other way around. So if you take a look at the head-to-head history here, Asia's gone over in both games this season and 3 out of 4 last season. If I were to add this to a parlay, I'd probably just knock it down to 20 points and then add something else, to make it up. To get it near even money and all that. So before I get into these next plays, if you guys could, please like the video. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. If you have a little bit of extra time, could you leave a W in the comment section? And since I'm pointing out some Novig odds, I want to shout out the app Novig. Novig is a exchange social sports book. You see all the states on the map. You can use them there, and a lot of those states are the ones that don't have DraftKings or Fanduel, and you can bet on spreads, you can bet on money lines, you can single bet, and all that great stuff. It is a great app for people who feel like they're stuck with Prizepicks and Underdog and they have to take 2 plays every single time. You don't have to. You can single bet in your state. So promo code is FINDAROUND11. I'll put a link in the pinned comment that'll take you straight there, and that promo code is all caps. For some reason you have to do all caps. So this next game that I want to target is the Sparks in the Sun game, two of the worst defenses in the WNBA. And the Sun have been awful against the interior this year. And I forgot to mention Marina Mabrey. It will be returning for this game. I haven't read anything about a minutes restriction, but that will help boost the offense for the Sun. These two teams just played on July 13th. And it was Sun 88, Sparks 92, so it was still a competitive game, very high scoring. So hopefully we get that here. And like I mentioned, Sun are very soft defensively in the interior, worse in the league over the past month by a good margin. They've been getting crushed, giving up 71% of their field goals made in the restricted area. So the Sparks have 3 very good forwards/centers. And Dearica Hamby, Azurá Stevens, Rakia Jackson, that can all score. In that game that they played almost a week back, or I guess a little over a week back, time flies, all 3 of them went over their points lines. I'm going to rank them based off value, based off their floor, and all that stuff. So the first player that I like out of the 3, and the safest I believe, is going to be Dearica Hamby, over 16.5 points, minus 100 on Novig. I don't know why they don't put plus 100. So she by far takes the most attempts in the paint, and that's why I think she has the highest floor. She's taking around 10 shots in the paint, which is around 75% of her total field goal attempts. She did score the least out of the three in the last game against the Sun, because the other two to like to take more 3-pointers and, you know, stretch the floor and all that. So she's going to need the volume, and she has been getting the volume. You know, going into the All-Star break and coming out of the All-Star break, you see she played Washington. Washington's very good defensively on the interior, and she was able to do very well against them. So she's in good form right now, and over the last 5, she's scoring about 19.5 points a game. So like with Asia, if you wanted to knock Asia down to 20 points, you could do De'Erica Hamby like 15 and see where that comes out at. I do think she has the highest floor. Second player is going to be Rickea Jackson over 13.5 points, minus 126. She's more streaky, and she's just hot right now. So she takes the second most attempts in the paint. She's got a good mix of attacking the rim and taking mid-range and 3-pointers. She takes about 6 shots a game in the paint in the restricted area, and that's around 45% of her attempts, which I like, which we're going to need those high percentage shots. So the floor is a little bit higher there. But like I said, she is streaky, but she's averaging 18.5 points over the last 5 games. The All-Star break did not slow her down. She came out and took 17 shots in the last game. 8 of those shots were from the 3-point line. She knocked down 4 of them. So she could come out and take 17 shots, 8 from 3, and, you know, make 2 of them. So against this really soft defense, I just expect, you know, the volume to continue to stay high and her to continue to be aggressive. In this line feels pretty low for what she's been doing lately. And then third, still not a bad play, is Azurá Stevens over 13.5 points, minus 110 on DraftKings. She dropped 21 against the Sun. She takes the least amount of shots in the paint out of the 3, and the least amount of shots out of all 3 players. She did kind of have an outlier game there against the Sun, taking 17 attempts. That's definitely not normal for her, so the attempts could come down. But she's an efficient 3-point shooter for her size and for her position. Not as streaky as Rickea Jackson. Stevens actually shoots 48% from 3 over the last 10 games, whereas Rickea Jackson shoots 24%. So that 4 for 8 last game for Rickea Jackson, probably not going to happen again. Shooting 24%. So I honestly think the better play that would rank higher over Rickea Jackson's points, I would put as second, would be Azurá Stevens over 1.5 3-pointers made at minus 135. I think this is a better look. I think it's consistent. The volume is there, making almost 50% of her shots. She knocked down 5 of them against the Sun last time around. So in conclusion, I would say De'Erica Hamby, highest floor because most shots near the basket, high percentage shots. If I were to do a parlay, probably 15 points mixed in with like Asia Wilson, 20 points. And then I would say 1.5 3-pointers made for Azurá Stevens, with her consistency from the 3-point line, and even in this soft matchup, she's still going to take a bunch of 3s. So that opportunity is going to be there. The Sun still give up a lot of 3s and 3-point percentage. They don't rank very highly there either. And then third would be Rickea Jackson over 13.5 points at minus 126 on Novig. Just hot, streaky shooter, and we just need her to, you know, continue with her high volume pretty much and take her shots, you know, near the rim. Then I'm going to scratch the 13.5 points for Azurá Stevens and just stick with the 3-pointers made. I think that's the safest look. So let me know what you think about this format. Just something I was looking at. We'll see how it goes. You know, they all could do really well. They all hit their lines last time around. So looking for repeat performance here. If you guys would like to discuss lines further, I have a Discord. Link is in the description. Hop on in there. Talk about WNBA, baseball, all that good stuff. And then as far as a recap goes, I don't remember the plays, to be honest. I know I had Asia Wilson going into the All-Star break. I forget who the other person was. But I know the 2 in the video hit. And then I gave some pin comment ones. Someone asked for spreads and stuff like that. And I put some underdogs and they all missed by like one basket. So the favorites won by like a point. So did not look good there. So I'm not going to be doing too much in the pinned comment. I'm going to go with my initial reads the night before, unless like a major injury happens or lines aren't out or something like that. So I'm going to get this one edited and get it out to you. God bless you all. It's the final round. My name is Jordan. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.